Good morning, my dear students. How are you all? Today we will start our reading comprehension and our new story on Sunday, 31st of May 2020. Let's start with reading sight words. Read the first word. Around, around, around. There. Okay. Back to around, like I travel around the world. Okay. They won the match and they got their trophy. If I get full mark, my father will give me a big gift. Shall we play? Okay. Or I shall see the doctor when I'm feeling sick. How? I can see half of sandwich or two halves of the sandwich. Now let's read together our learning outcomes today. I can identify, compare and contrast and the graphic features. Number 2, I can analyze the text to aid comprehension. Back again. I can identify, compare and contrast and graphic features. As we know, story parts is about topic or theme, characters, setting, events. Our story's name, animal groups. So our target skill of this story is to know or identify, compare, contrast, and text and graphic features. These are the new words, okay, of this story. Let's first explain what is the meaning of compare and contrast. If you have two things and you want to compare between them. So compare means how are these things seen? How are these things or the two things or more than two are the same? So what's the meaning of compare? Compare means what or how these things are the same. So when we are comparing, we can use these words like same, like alike, like both, like similar, like also, like to, like as well as. So compare, when you are going to compare between two things or more than two, we will find that how are these things the same? Okay, so compare means the things or how the things are the same. Go to contrast. To contrast means to find how these things are different. Contrast means different. Compare means the same. Again, when you are comparing means you are trying to find how these things are the same. Contrast, you are comparing between the things and you are going to find that how these things are different. You have here diagram, two circles, Okay, you will find in the middle same, how both of these things are the same. Okay, and on the right side different, and on the other side different. So in the middle you will put comparing, or you will compare between the two things, and you will write how these things are the same. On the sides you will contrast. You will tell me how are these things different. Okay, again, compare, how are they the same? Contrast, how are they different? Contrast, it will be on the sides, how they are different. And this diagram we will use while we are explaining the story, because the target skill here is compare and contrast. Compare, you will write or you will tell how the things are the same. Contrast, you will tell or find how the things are different. So you will use the same diagram or the same picture here, both two circles. In between both means how they are the same. On the sides, how they are different. Okay? Okay. So compare and contrast. When you compare, you will tell how things are alike or are the same. When you contrast, you will tell things are different. Think about how things are alike and different to understand the selection. The selection means this story. Okay? You can use this diagram to compare and to contrast between two things. For example, he is putting one word here and one word there, and both how they are, these things are the same. But you will write here how they are different, you will write there how they are different. This is the video. Okay. This video explains what is the meaning of compare and contrast. We are saying that compare means how the things are the same. Contrast, you are finding how the things are different. Okay? Text and graphic features. Through the story, you will find some words, captions, okay, or the titles. Through the captions and the titles, you will know what's this story talking about. Let's go through. First, you have to know what's or who is the author of the story. James, okay, is the author of the story. The genre of the story is informational text. I told you many times what is the meaning of informational text. Informational text means that this story will give you information about the topic, will give you facts and information about the topic. As we read the title of the story, animal groups, so it will give me information about the animal groups. Okay, so it will be real because it talks about facts, and facts always are very true. Okay, so through the photos and through the pictures of the story, we will know what this story is talking about. It talks about the real world. Okay, so the author of the story is called James Buchanan. Okay, and the genre of the story is informational text, gives the facts and information about the topic. As we read, the title of the story is Animal Groups. So the facts and the information are always very true, and it talks about the real world. So this story will give us information around the animals. Okay? So, what do you think? An informational text gives information about the topic. The topic of the story is about animal groups. Animal groups. Okay? You know some animals, but you don't know what kind of these animals. You know the animals' names, and you can tell me some information or little information about this animal, but you don't know what are the kinds of the animals, what are the groups of the animals. So how can pictures in this story help you figure out that this is an informational text? This story has photos of real animals, and it will give me definitely information and facts about these. So, from the title of the story, you will know information and facts about the animals. The title of the story is called Animals Groups or Animal Groups. Animal groups. You know some information about some of the animals, little bit information about the animals, but you don't know what are the kinds of the animals. So through the story, through the pictures, through the photos, you will get information about real animals. That's why I'm saying this story is an informational text. So look at the pictures and photos of this story and tell me, what are these pictures about? So you will know through the picture that you will learn about the animal groups. Okay, so as I told you that all of us know a little bit information about the animals, but we cannot know or identify what are the kinds of the animals, how some animals are in the same groups, how the animals belong in a group together. What are the kinds of the animals I can put in one group together? How I know this? This story will give us information and facts about this. Again, all of us know the names of the animals, some information about the animals, but not all of us know how these animals belong in one group, or what are the kinds of the animals that I can put in one group together. This is a story will give us information about this. Let's go through the story and let's read together. The title of the story, Animal Groups, written by James Buchanan. Let's read together today from page 166 to page 173. This is the first page of our story. I can find 5 groups of the animals: fish, reptile, amphibian, bird, mammal. So now, through the pictures and through the photos, we know now how many animal groups are there. 5. How many animal groups are there? I can find 5. Let's read together again. Fish, reptile, amphibian, bird, and mammal. As we know, I think, or I'm sure that you have learned these through science subject. Okay, that some animals I can drag them in one group together. Why? Because they have the same characteristics. Okay, I can put some fish under this fish. some birds under birds, some animals under reptile, some animals or the other animals under amphibians, the others under mammal. So how many animal groups? Five called fish, reptile, amphibian, bird, and mammal. Through the pictures, I can say 5 group animals. What's the difference between them? Okay, let's go back again. Let's take a look at 5 animal groups. Let's take a look at 5 animal groups. How are animals in a group the same? How are the animals in one group are the same, and how they are different at the same time as well? Okay. For example, he is asking here between the fish and reptile. The fish and reptile. What's the difference between them? The fish has fins and the reptile has legs. Okay, the fish has fins and the reptile has legs. For sure, the fish doesn't have legs. Okay, so fish has fins, but the reptile has legs. The text says animal groups, but I only see 5 single animals. I ask myself, what does animal groups mean? What does animal groups mean? I think a group needs to have more than one. In one group, I can find many animals. I will read the next few pages. Maybe I will find out about more than one kind of fish in the fish group. We will start with the fish group. You will find more than one animal under the fish group. We can see through the picture here that we will learn about the fish group, okay? Because I can find here fish and it swims in the sea. Let's read together the parts of the fish. Here, fin, okay? It has fin. It has eyes. It has mouth. It has gills. How many fins? It has 2 fins. And here, tail. So what are the fish parts? 2 fins, eyes, mouth, gills, and tail. Let's read together. Fish must live in the water. We cannot find fish out of the water. This is number 1. Fish have gills. Fish is also plural and noun, plural and singular at the same time. Okay? Fish have gills. What's the meaning of gills? Or what's the importance or the function of gills? We are humans. How we are breathing? We are breathing through lungs. Okay? But fish is different. Fish have gills, and these gills help the fish to breathe in the water and get oxygen in the water. Again, this part is called gills, and gills makes or helps the fish to breathe in the water and get oxygen in the water. Fish have fins and tails. Fish also have fins and tails. Why? Because those help the fish to swim in the water. Again, each part of the fish has function and has importance. Fish has 2 eyes and mouth. Fish has or have 2 fins and tails. Fish have gills. What's the importance of gills, or what's the function of gills? Gills help the fish to breathe in the water and get oxygen in the water. What's the importance of tail and gills? Tail and fins. Tail and fins, they help the fish to swim in the water. Okay? What's the most important idea in this page? The most important that fish live in the water, and fish have gills, fins, tails to help them live in the water. Okay? How are all fish alike? How all the fish are the same? All the fish live in the water. All the fish have gills, fins, and tails to help them keep breathing and swimming in the water. Okay? Okay. About how one fish might be different from another fish. How are the fish different? Okay. One fish might be different from the other fish. In what? Maybe in color, maybe in shape, maybe in size. Okay. Fish might also swim in different kinds of water. Some fish lives in salt water, some live in salt water, and the others live in fresh water. So this is the difference between fish in one group. Again, we start now with the fish group. So you will find all the fishes live in the water. All the fish live in the water. All the fish have fins, gills, and tails. Why? To let them or to help them live in the water. To make them breathe and swim in the water. So all the fishes are the same in this. All the fishes or all the fish have the same parts, fins, gills, and tails. But how they are different? They are different in colors, in shapes, in size. Some fish are big and the others are very small. Some fish are, what are the colors? They have different colors, different shapes, okay? Some fish live in salt water and the others live in fresh water. Some lives on the bottom of the sea, the other lives on the deep water. Okay? Let's read the second page. Fish can be many shapes and sizes, so they are different. How? In the shape and in the size. Can you find a fish in this picture? Yes, I can find here one fish. It's so different in the color, by the way, and in the shape, okay, and in the size. So all the fish are the same, that all of them have fins, tails, and gills, and all of them live in the water. How they are different? They are different in colors, they are different in shapes and sizes. Some of them can live in salty water, the others can live in fresh water. So the first group here is fish. The second group is reptiles. Reptiles. I can find here in the picture here. Who can tell me what's this animal's name? This animal's name is alligator. Okay, alligator. What are the parts of alligator here? Let's read together. Scales. Scales, it's on alligator's skin. Okay? Scales. What's on the alligator's skin? Scales. Okay? I can find the tail. I can find eyes. I can find legs. So I can find the alligator in the water. They live in the water and also they live on land. So reptiles, okay, can live on land. Some like to be in water. Reptiles have scales on their skin. Again, reptiles. The second group, reptiles. I can find the animals in this reptiles group can live on both land and in water. Okay, all of them have scales on their skin. All the reptiles have tail, have legs, and have eyes, and also scales on their skin. What are some ways one fish can be different from another? I told you they are different in shapes and size. What does the picture here, fish? Okay, what does on page 170 tell you about the fish? It looks like the things around it, so it's hard to see. Yes, let's back. Here he is asking here about fish. What do you notice from this photo? I can find the fish is, this kind of fish is in the same color with the other things around it. I can find the fish, it has the same color like the other things around it. Okay, that's why it's very difficult and hard to find the fish. From the first look, maybe I cannot see the fish because it has the same color, but when I'm focusing, I can find it. Okay, so from the first look, it's very hard and difficult to see it because it had the same color. Okay, where he is asking here, where do reptiles have scales? Scales, it's one of the parts of reptiles. It has scales on their skin. Okay, what does it mean, scales? I can find scales or can find a photo that shows what scales are and what they look like. When you touch the reptile's skin, you will feel it pumpy and rough, very rough, very hard. Okay, so the scales, when you touch the scales of the reptiles like alligator, you will find it rough and pumpy. Then, he is giving me more information about reptiles. The first information about reptiles, like alligator, that they have eyes, legs, and scales, and tail. Okay, they live on land and in the water as well. When you touch the skin, you can find it rough and pumpy. The second information here, many reptiles hatch from eggs. They hatch from eggs. Snakes are reptiles also. Okay, but snakes don't have legs, but they are reptiles. They don't have legs. The snake slides on the ground. slide its long body on the grass. Again, we can find two pictures here, okay, or three animals. They are reptiles. Number one, alligator. Alligator has scales on its skin. Okay, it's alligator can live on both land and in water. Next, we can find here sea turtle. It hatches from the eggs. Here, snakes. Even though the snake doesn't have legs, but I can say snakes are reptiles. How the snake move? How the snake moves? It slides its long body on the grass. It slides its long body on the grass. Here we have to stop to know some information. A turtle swimming and a baby turtle hatching from the egg. Okay, so how is the turtle hatching connected to the turtle swimming? They are both turtles. The baby hatching will grow up to be like the turtle that is swimming. When the baby turtle hatching from the egg, it will grow up and it will be like the turtle that's swimming. Okay? Okay. Describe what's the difference about turtle and snakes. Move. Turtles can swim and walk, but snakes cannot walk. It can slide on the ground or on the grass. Okay, here he is comparing between the snake and the turtle. How they are the same? Both of them are living in the water. Both of them are reptiles. Okay, but so how the snake and the turtle are the same? They are living in the water, okay, or they can live in the water. They can, but how they are different? The turtle swim or walk, but snakes slide on the ground. It doesn't have legs. Okay, turtle have legs, so they can swim and walk. They also have shells. The turtle have legs. They can swim and walk. They also have shells, but the snake has a dry skin or scales. Okay, the snake doesn't have legs. It can only slide, not by its long body, but it cannot walk. Okay. Okay. How fish? We are comparing between fish and reptiles. How they are the same? Both of them have legs. Both of them have eyes, a mouth, and tail. Fish live in the water. Some reptiles live in the water. Some, not all of them. Okay. So both groups have eyes, a mouth, and tail. Fish live in the water, and so do some reptiles. Some reptiles live in the water. Okay. Now we are using this diagram, okay, to compare between fish and reptiles. How they are the same, fish and reptiles. How they are the same. Both of them have eyes, tails, and mouth. Okay? How they are different? Fish has or have gills to breathe, okay, and swim in the water, and have fins to swim in the water. Fish live in the water. Here, reptiles, some of them live in the water, the others live on land, okay? So this is different. Here, fish have fins, reptiles have scales. So when you touch it, or their skin, you will feel rough and bumpy, okay? You can find here turtle, okay, hatch from, or many reptiles hatch from eggs, okay, and the snakes don't have legs, but they can slide on the grass and on the ground by its long body, okay? But the turtle and alligators have legs, so they can move and they can swim as well, okay? So in our story, or in our selection here, you have to compare how they are the same. You have to contrast how they are different. You will choose two kind or two animal groups, like fish, like reptiles, and write in the middle, alike means how they are the same. What's the same characteristic? Okay. On the sides, how they are different. You will contrast between them. This is our selection and our story. You will compare, you will contrast. Through the story, you will compare, you will contrast. So please try to give me your self-evaluation by using Marzano chart. Here, this is the link of the story. You have to listen and you have to keep reading the story daily, animal groups. Please send me a video by reading the story, okay? Thank you for listening and watching, and see you tomorrow.